Bouncing back from screw-ups in business. I believe there's always room, especially when humans are involved, for some errors to occur. It's unlikely that you'll go through your life, your career, and your entrepreneurial journey without screwing up. I've been in the life insurance and financial services business for over 2 decades. And of course, I've made a few mistakes. How quickly do you recover from the mistake? And how do you fix it? A client of mine, when asked why he chose me to work with many years ago, responded, "Rickson might screw up at some point, but I know that he is the kind of guy who will be there to ensure that the screw up is taken care of and won't just run away from it." A few years ago, I was faced with a situation where I was put to the test on this very acknowledgement. Iqbal, a client of mine, was around 52 years when all of this went down. He ran a successful business that profited about $1.5 million a year. He was extremely competent within his field of business. But where technology was concerned, he wasn't particularly on the ball. Do you know how your 60-something-year-old uncle would ask you to log into their Facebook account because they couldn't figure out how to get in? That was Iqbal. Technology completely overwhelmed him, and he struggled to keep up with the times. So it makes it all the more difficult to manage when someone like that experiences a technological hiccup. Iqbal was a victim of a phishing attack. His emails were intercepted and the hackers accessed his incoming and outgoing emails. The hackers saw an opportunity to strike when there was a large sum of money that Iqbal needed to wire across to an insurance company, roughly to the tune of about $500,000. All they did was intercept that email using a phishing email address similar to that of the brokerage firm involved and change the bank details to their receiving bank. Oblivious to this, Iqbal unknowingly wired the money to this fictional account in the US. I got a panic-stricken call from Iqbal telling me what happened while I was on a vacation, my first break in 17 months. I hadn't taken a flight out of Dubai yet and was still accessible via phone. Typically, I would postpone all work-related communication until I'm back from my holiday, except for serious issues. $500,000 lost to hackers is a serious issue. Iqbal was furious, agitated, all the thing a man who just lost $500,000 to fraud would be. He blamed the problem on my team emailing him too much. I thought that was unusual. We kept email communication to a minimum. But before I justified anything, I contacted my team members to find out what all the emails were about. They informed me that they hadn't sent him any emails. I asked Iqbal to forward the emails that he had received. To my shock and horror, I saw that the emails were from a fraudulent email address that looked very similar to ours, with an extra letter added in the email address. My instant reaction was that of panic. To digest that Iqbal would have possibly lost all that money on our watch was a tough pill to swallow, regardless of whether we caused the error or not. I put on my problem-solving hat. I pulled all the stops to fix what had happened. First, I had Iqbal contact his bank and asked them to recall the wired money back to his account. He came over to my house at 8 p.m. that night, and together we reported the fraud to the FBI, the Dubai Cybercrime Department, and the CID. We also continued to report this to the insurance company concerned, who instantly got in touch with the said bank in the US and managed to place that rightful complaint. I got down to sit with the client and ensure that these bases were covered. We retrieved all of the money within 4 days of the phishing attack. Iqbal's banks also told us that if we had initiated the retrieval process as little as 4 hours later, the money would have been unreachable. Iqbal was shaken by the experience, but he was grateful that I stepped in to solve the problem. I'll leave you with this much. Leave behind the notion of perfection and flawless professionalism. There will be mistakes, especially if you are in this for the long run. Some of these mistakes will be the result of your actions. Others might not be, but you will be called on to help resolve them. If your end goal is to provide exceptional customer service, do it authentically and with the intention of serving your client. Act at the right time and to the best of your capacity. That is all you can do to ensure that you're building a sustainable business through loyal clientele.